Downtown Greensboro is becoming a destination for breweries. And if you like craft brews, you might want to check out Gibb's 100 Brewing Company. We're behind the bar at Gibb's 100 Brewing Company, and Sasha Gibb is part of the owner, operator, husband, wife team of the brewing company. Hey, thanks so much for having us.
Thanks for having us.
So how did this get started from the very beginning?
Well, my husband and I met back in 1999, and he told me he was a certified beer judge. And I laughed in his face because I thought it was a pickup line. So, and he's like, no, it was a really hard test. I had to study a lot. So he's a beer geek from way back. And then about 5 years ago, he's been running manufacturing companies all over the country. About 5 years ago, he started running a company that makes the equipment. So not only is he a business guy, he's a beer geek, he learned the equipment side of it. And we were wondering why Greensboro didn't have as many breweries as like Asheville or Charlotte or any of the cool beer towns. And we looked into it, and some of the laws were rather restrictive about how much you could brew downtown. And we knew we wanted to be a downtown. It's a nice place to have a tap room and a small brewery. Got them to change the laws, and here we are.
Okay, so you're in downtown Greensboro. You've been open for about how long now?
6 months.
And how's it going? What's it like to be downtown in Greensboro?
It's great. The growth is wonderful. All the new restaurants popping up, breweries, city market going on right next door. It's a good place to be now.
Is it a good environment for beer? I mean, do people seem to be interested in trying new beers and really supporting that culture?
Well, we're working on it. So Natty's and Foothills and Winston started, trailblazing, but the more breweries that pop up kind of in a small area, there's over 100 styles of beer and many, many different iterations, different additives, flavorings, things you can do with beer. So the more that cluster together, the more interest, and then the more styles, because not one brewery can make them all.
Okay, so in this case, competition is actually a good thing.
It's a very good thing. It just helps increase people's knowledge about beer and gets them to try new things, and it's just fun for everybody.
So this is Mark, as Sasha described him, the beer geek. When did you really develop kind of a fascination for beer and crafting beer?
I think it was when I was in graduate school. There was a local home brew club that was offering some classes on how to do home brewing, and I took a class and immediately fell in love with it. The thing that really appealed to me about it is that home brewers got access to all the same ingredients that a commercial brewer does, and as a good home brewer, you can make some of the best beer in the world.
So you were making beer in just 5-gallon buckets for years?
20 years, yeah.
20 years, and then you took it to a little bigger level, we could say.
Absolutely, yeah. Went about 10 times, from 5-gallon batches to 500-gallon batches, or 100 times.
And so that changed things a lot. Kind of take us through the process about how you make a beer start to finish.
Sure. Well, we actually kind of normally, when we do our little tours, we normally start them here at the tanks, which is actually the second step. But this is the first thing you see when you come in the brewery. And what we're doing here is basically taking a sugar water solution and adding yeast, and the yeast are digesting the sugar and turning it into carbon dioxide and alcohol. Same process that happens with beer, wine, whiskey, it's all the same. That's a process that takes about 2 weeks. And then when we're all done with that, these are jacketed tanks that we can control the temperature. It's important to have precise temperature control during the fermentation. When it's all done, we crash the temperature down, get the beer down to about 34 degrees. All the yeast settles down in this little cone in the bottom, and then we can get the yeast out of there, and we have a nice clear beer, and we're ready to put it in a keg.
So what is the time frame from grain to glass?
The actual mash and brewing happens in about 5 or 6 hours, and then it goes into the tank, and it's in the tank for about 2 weeks before it's ready to be put into a keg and head out to restaurants and bars around town.
How many different brews do you do?
We currently are, we add new things all the time, so we currently have 3 beers that are available all the time, a milk stout, a pale ale, and an ESB. And then in terms of our limited release beers, we've got a Belgian strong dark ale called Date Night that is on right now. We've got an IPA, that's going to be released in probably a week and a half here. And then we'll continue to add some new things as we go along.
Obviously, going from homebrew to a big business in downtown Greensboro is a big jump. How has it been? How has it been received? And what's it been like to actually take that leap?
It's been great. We've been really gratified by the response that people have had to the beers. I've gotten a lot of great compliments on the beers. We've been really tickled with the response of the tap room. People tell us that they really like the vibe of the place, and it feels like they're in Asheville. So it's really been fantastic.
Just about 10 steps away from Gibb's 100 Brewing Company is plenty of parking. I know a lot of people think there's nowhere to park in downtown Greensboro. It's simply not true. Check out this huge lot. You do have to pay to park, but it's $2 before 6, $3 after 6 o'clock. Come to downtown Greensboro, check out the breweries, check out the restaurants, check out all the shopping. There's a lot of fun, family fun, in fact, in downtown Greensboro. And yes, there are plenty of places to park.